I'm Charles Aubrey. I'm going to be the moderator for our group. And I don't need any introduction because I'm sure everybody knows who I am. In any case, could I invite all of the panelists to please come on the stage with me so we can get started? Each of our panelists will have a 15-minute opportunity to make a presentation around their personal journey for building an excellent culture in their organization to be an award winner of various awards. So they'll each have 15 minutes to give a presentation, and then we'll open it up for questions from other panel members, and hopefully we'll have some time for questions from the audience as well. Okay. Okay, we have 3 of our 4 panelists. I would like them to each introduce themselves. I have not been given the bios of them, so if you would each please take a few minutes to introduce yourselves. Welcome.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I'm Jarrah Alzubi from DIWA, Dubai Electricity and Water Authority. I work for the Corporate Excellence Department, Senior Manager in Excellence Competitiveness. And welcome to United Arab Emirates.
Hi, my name is Heng. My last name is Chuah. I'm from Singapore. We are SP Group. It's the National Transmission and Distribution Energy Electricity Company in Singapore.
Hello, everybody. My name is Darin, Atteberry, and I'm the city manager of a city called Fort Collins in Colorado, the United States. And we are a U.S. National Baldrige recipient. And so I'm going to share a little bit about our story as a city going through the Baldrige process.
All right, thank you. You can hang. I have a microphone, so you can, three of you can share it. So let's start in the order that we have pre-established. And so I would ask Diwa to begin. So please, you can use the podium if you like. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. DIWA, Dubai Electricity and Water Authority, one of the leading organizations, not even in United Arab Emirates, not in the region, but also a worldwide organization. DIWA, yesterday, Professor Tijani mentioned to be an excellent organization, you have 3 things, and they are leadership, and leadership, and leadership. Leadership is needed at all levels: country, local, corporate, and even within the organization, leadership is important to be committed for excellence. DIWA was established in 1991 after merging 2 main entities in Dubai. The first one was the electricity department, and the second one was the water department or establishment. Before 1991, the generation of power was done by heavy fuel and using traditional generation. Water has been pumped from groundwater and become more saline and so on. So in 1992, when we have the merge, our main story, the current story, the excellent story, has started in DIWA. Our vision was set many years ago. It's a sustainable, innovative, world-class utility. And just to recall, in 1997, there was a leadership and top management meeting, workshop, they set a world class in our vision. And they mentioned to become a world class, we have to achieve the score of 700 plus to be a world class. Alhamdulillah, this has been achieved last year in 2017 when DEWA get the world class recognition from APQO, and we gained the platinum sector in energy in 2017 by the APQO. DEWA is part of the government in Dubai and is representing United Arab Emirates. One of the most important things for any country is the competitiveness reports by international organizations, World Bank, and so on. This will reflect the maturity level, the excellence level of any country or organization. And alhamdulillah, last year and this year, DEWA, as the only representative of the United Arab Emirates in the getting electricity, doing the business, we achieved #1 rank worldwide. This is a huge achievement. Alhamdulillah, it hasn't been done without the commitment by the leadership and the teamwork within our organization. The main purpose of DEWA is a utility to serve people, to provide water, to provide electricity, and our most ultimate goal is customer happiness, customer satisfaction. And to make our customers happy and satisfied with two crucial important goodies, which is the power and water, we have to maintain our availability of the system, the reliability, the quality of our products or services to be provided to customers. So, if anybody from a utility background, our main KPIs are related to our core business, which is water and power. We reached 7.1 unaccounted for water, and people who are familiar with this KPI, it's a world-class KPI or achievement. Customer minute loss per year is 2.6 minutes per customer per year, which is a very high target to achieve compared with Europe and America, as the average there about 15 minutes per customer. Electricity loss in the lines. We maintain our network, even transmission on the distribution, in a very high quality and efficient way to reduce the losses and to maintain our services all the time. This will not be achieved without the teamwork, the recognition of our employees. So employees' happiness is one of the major aspects that we have to take care within an organization to motivate them, to maintain their motivation, and to encourage them to achieve more stretched targets and missions. All this resulted and very effective approach we have, and we can see it from the customer happiness achievement that we gained. This has been measured by a third party and also by DGB, Dubai Government Excellence Program survey. So our customer happiness is very high compared with other utilities or other organizations regionally and worldwide. Alhamdulillah, DEWA maintained its success in excellence. We won the DGB award in 2016 at Dubai local level and also in 2017. And the difference between these two recognitions, one was based on the APQO model, and the second one based on the 4G framework of excellence that has been adopted by the government in United Arab Emirates. In addition to the main entity achievement, also we gained some achievements, other achievements on initiatives and employees as well at Dubai government level. Worldwide, as I mentioned, we has been recognized as a world-class utility last year by the APQO. We were the first organization outside Europe who won this award alhamdulillah. And we are classified as a platinum organization for excellence in energy sector in the Global Excellence Index by APQO. There are, since 6 years ago till now, we have achieved more than 180 local and regional awards for different categories: innovation, management, sword of honor, global of honor, health and safety, and so on. There are many to name. Why we sustain and we achieve such levels of excellence? The fundamental concepts of excellence has been part of our daily way of life in DEWA, and we maintain it even in direct or indirect way to maintain our excellence levels. The commitment by His Excellency the MD and CEO, he is a very well monitoring person, and he is very careful about excellence issues in a weekly basis to maintain our level of excellence. As I mentioned, our main purpose is to serve customers. We achieve high level of customer satisfaction, and even so, we didn't rely on this achievement. Also, we are having a stretched target to achieve 90% by His Excellency the MD, and we are doing many initiatives in order to achieve such level, inshallah, in the near future. Creating sustainable future. Sustainability is the main pillar of our strategy. Our strategy is have triple bottom line pillars, 3 pillars: social, economic, and environment, and it's embedded in the strategy in every level. So sustainability is the most ultimate target. DEWA is supporting sustainability through encouraging in green economy initiatives, and also DEWA is the driver behind the WIJO. It's award a green economy organization with the cooperation with the United Nations. So sustainability is the main important thing that we concentrate on. Why we are caring about sustainability? It's a worldwide notion, and also as we generating electricity, the most harming thing is burning fuels. Burning fuels, in the past we have fuel efficiency normal as an utility, but based on some innovation has been done on the systems, we get 90% fuel efficiency in DEWA. This is not all. We are shifting now from using traditional conventional fuels to renewable energy. Our target to have energy mix in 2030 of 25% of our generation. In 2050, 75% of our generation should be based on renewable and clean energy. I think this is a very challenging target, and inshallah we are up to it. Developing organizational capabilities, our values. One of the most important values in our organization is excellence, governance, happiness of stakeholders. These are the values that we are caring about. Creativity. Creativity is not just ideation or creating new ideas or suggestions or to implement these suggestions. Our innovation is in the core business. Our core business is the generation, and we achieved very high level of savings through the innovation that we did for our turbines and power plants. And these innovative ideas and projects has been implemented worldwide with cooperation with Siemens and GE, as they are the main partners with DEWA. Partners are very important to such knowledge dissemination and sharing, and also to have the cooperation in scientific approach of how to do the innovative projects in a proper way and in a very safe way. You can't jeopardize your core business just to have a new ideas and you would like to implement it. And there's a big risk in that. So the best thing is to have a scientific approach and methodology to achieve the targets you are looking for. Managing with agility, alhamdulillah, we have a process management system in DEWA, but regarding the core business, we started, as I mentioned, from generating power from heavy fuel, and then we moved to diesel engines, and after that we used the gas, and now we are using 2PV and CSP as a solar source for our energy generation. And at the same time, for water, we used to pump water from groundwater aquifer, and then we moved to desalination. Desalination, we used the normal multi-stage flush methodology, and based on innovation, 70% of water generated by DEWA is free of fuel. We just use the excess heat from turbines to generate 70% of our water needed, which is around 5 million imperial gallons per day. Alhamdulillah, after that, now we are shifting from MSF to RO, using renewable energy or solar energy as a source of generating desalined water. Sustaining outstanding results. Our results since 2007 till 2017 has a very positive trend in all aspects, especially for the core business. And this has been achieved through the commitment and fellowship by leadership. Succeeding through the talent of people. We have employee happiness with a high rate of 88.4 in 2017. We have a clear human capital planning, and the most important thing that there is an empowerment from the management to people to innovate, to suggest, and to do modification to the system and the process and so on. And the most important thing, if you ask any employee from DEWA, what do you think about DEWA as an employee? The only answer, I believe most of them will answer, we are proud that we are a part of DEWA team. Walhamdulillah. For our methodology for excellence, we have corporate excellence department at corporate level, and we have excellence ambassadors at 13 divisions in DEWA. DEWA is a huge organization with 12,000 employees, and we have generation, distribution, transmission. These are a unique business model, which is a vertical utility business. It needs a lot of cooperation and coordination between divisions and the corporate. So without this cooperation and coordination, we couldn't achieve what we have achieved so far. We used functional teams, awareness sessions at different levels. We conduct self-assessment and gap analysis with different methodology, even 4G or APQO or other assessment tools. Even we do functions assessment as well, like knowledge management, IT, innovation, and so on. We have improvement initiatives at corporate level, and at the same time, we have improvement initiatives at divisional level based on their business and needs on a yearly basis. And we conduct mock assessment by third parties to assess the situation and to have a feedback reports. The most important thing that leaders should care about the feedback reports from different sources, and to incorporate this in their improvement plans and strategical future visions. This is all, and thank you for listening. This has been a long journey, alhamdulillah, a big achievement, and we hope to sustain such levels in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Very good. Interesting. Next, I'd like to invite our guest from Singapore, Chuah He, and he's going to talk about his organization and They're winning the Singapore Quality Award.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be here. First of all, Singapore is a very, very small country. We are 700 square kilometers in terms of size. We have 5 million in terms of population. If you drive from east to west, the span of it is almost the same as the journey from me last night when I traveled from the airport to the hotel here. So in that way, it's a great privilege to be here to learn from countries, companies that are much bigger than us. I'm privileged here to share with you our journey in business excellence and how we, as a company, foster a culture of business excellence within the organization. Allow me to start with a quick word about the current climate in the energy landscape. Providers of utility services around the globe are operating in a very different environment compared to 10 or 15 years ago. Advancement in technology has enabled greater transparency, deeper connectivity between machines, between humans, and greater transparency, better analytics that tell us what we are doing well, where we need to do better, and what opportunities we may be missing out. From electric vehicles taking you to and from work, digital marketplaces that help you sell energy certificates generated from solar panels on your roof, and smart home sensors and technology that helps you manage your energy consumption, it is clear that there are huge shifts happening in the energy world. These advancements help people live with more convenience at the workplace and at home. The consumers of today are more digitally connected, and they bring with them greater expectations given their exposure to digital services offered by other sectors and industries. For utilities, this means that more customers are now discovering new ways to manage their energy consumption habits, new ways to reduce their utility costs, and some are even taking on new roles as sellers of electricity. These shifts are propelling the need for a new business model enabled by digital capabilities that can position the utilities to effectively respond to changes in energy management and consumption, and for us to meet the evolving needs of our consumers. In SP, we view these advancements not simply as robots or software to displace humans, but one that augments human skills and abilities so that workforce is able to focus on more meaningful and purposeful work. We develop skill maps and training programs to not just prepare, but also keep upskilling and reskilling our existing workforce so that they can be equipped with the right tools to innovate. We begin this journey by knowing our talent profile, assessing the talent gaps, and making changes to our hiring processes and learning plans accordingly. This is critical to ensure the right culture and the right people with the right tools to drive organizational effectiveness. Sometimes this involves eliminating old roles, sometimes it involves training to upskill current employees, sometimes it means bringing in talent from external sources, and sometimes it involves shifting people into new roles. I'll be sharing 3 points on how we may have managed these challenges. The first point is attracting the right talent and upskilling our current talent. Against the backdrop of the rapidly evolving climate, we need to make sure that we attract the right talent to fill in the competency gaps. We leverage on a variety of tools and social media channels to ensure we cultivate a positive employer brand so as to attract quality applicants with right skills, abilities, experiences, and more importantly, values. Shortlisted candidates go through a rigorous selection and interview process, ensuring that the right candidates are selected. All interviews are collectively held by the hiring managers and the human resource department. For existing staff, we adopt a holistic approach in managing our employees' learnings and development needs, so as to ensure alignment with organizational goals. Learning needs analysis are conducted annually to determine our competency development requirements, and is mapped across 3 levels: the organization, the department, and at individual level. The areas are then addressed by translating them into programs and initiatives to foster culture of innovation, building capabilities to support new business growth areas, and as well as grooming the next generation of leaders. At the employee level, strong emphasis is placed on the ownership of the learning needs process by the employees. The employees are accountable for their development plans, and they should work closely with their supervisors and HR in identifying and assessing their competency gaps. And of course, we encapsulate that in formal discussions done twice a year during their mid-year and full-year performance appraisal. One of our proudest moments or achievements is the birth of Project Fusion. It is a series of tailored programs that invest in development skills that complement new and emerging technologies. These are capabilities that can be easily handled, that cannot be easily handled by software or robots, such as the ability to exercise creativity, critical thinking, and judgment, and to brainstorm ways to streamline processes and increase productivity. For example, one of the courses launched earlier this year is called the Internet of Things and Mobile App Development courses. This is where staff gets an introduction to IoT and what are the components of IoT and how it can help us better manage our work. We train our staff with mobile app development skills as well, not only to inculcate a culture of exploration, experimentation, but also to ignite interest among employees to invent applications that will benefit themselves at work so that we can better serve our customers. To boost engagement levels, individual and team participation rates, and ultimately drive innovation mindset, a number of initiatives have been introduced to put power in the hand of our staff. As early as 2015, we provided every 3,800 employees with an iPad. This not only gives staff an active role to play in our journey towards digital transformation, but also signifies our commitment towards greater workforce mobility and productivity. For instance, our field staff can now access the wireless workforce management system, a mobile field service application via the iPad, which was designed to enhance the productivity of our field services staff. It enables our field staff to view their allocated jobs, optimize their travel routes, perform quick meter readings in real time, and complete any other related tasks in the field. Supervisors, on the other hand, assess the location of field staff, which is integrated with our online maps. The benefits of this project helps increase our field staff productivity by 20%. But providing tools and equipping staff with knowledge to do things differently is not enough. This brings me to my second point. Building platforms for idea generation is also important. We need to ensure that we continue to have a sustainable pipeline of innovative ideas. And to do that, we developed several platforms that's managed by the structured process for generating, capturing, enhancing, organizing, and prioritizing valuable insights or alternative thinking that would otherwise not have been possible through conventional means. For instance, at the strategic level, a business plan competition called The Pitch was launched in 2016 to uncover gems of ideas and entrepreneurs that could eventually benefit SP Group and the industry. This is a platform where employees submit their business proposals and stand to win cash prizes and seed funding to implement their winning ideas. At the operational level, we have the Value Creation Program, which comprises two major initiatives, the Economic Value Project, also known as EVP, and the Value Creation Ideas Award, which aims to develop a culture of continuous improvement as well as encourage, recognize, and reward the sharing of good ideas. The EVP online system and value creation ideas collection system known as Voices are platforms developed to capture related information, facilitate follow-up by respective parties, and serve as repository of past projects and ideas. We actively encourage our employees to be involved in improving the way we work, the work environment, and making our workplace even safer. Equally important is to all that I mentioned, my last point, celebrating success. These ceremonies not only recognize the accomplishments of the organization, but also the contributions of many who have contributed to the success and the culture of excellence we have fostered. It is about leaders, it is about the people who are dedicated to improve or pick up new skills, to foster a workplace culture that's committed to improvement and innovation, and to ensure that the best service is delivered to our customers. In SP Services, awards such as the Top Ideas Award, Think of the Box Awards, the Idea Champion Award, and Super Savers Awards are given to deserving departments that contribute the most number of productivity ideas and savings. We also have service awards every quarter. Employees are quantitatively and qualitatively assessed via robust evaluation metrics that measures their attitude, quality of work, and how customer-centric they are when serving customers. These awards are given out in our annual Service Quality Day. We also have Sparkle, a peer recognition app, which was launched to enhance the level of engagement among employees and promote the culture of gratitude and appreciation. This app allows employees to send stars to colleagues as commendation for actions and behavior that exemplify our corporate values, or just to thank them for their support in our daily work. This sends a strong message that teamwork and collaboration is greatly appreciated in the organization. In conclusion, to build a culture of excellence, you first need to build in and fill in competency gaps with the right talent. These talents, of course, can be sourced externally or they can be grown internally. Investments have to be made to ensure that we have the right people with the right skills and capabilities and put them where they need to be. Secondly, develop an idea generation platform to capture, enhance, and support the growth of innovative ideas that cannot be achieved through conventional means. These platforms provide staff with the freedom to freely express their suggestions and provide the organization with pipelines or ideas. Lastly, to always celebrate success. Recognizing success brings fulfillment and greater meaning to work. It reinforces collaboration among individuals, allows time for reflection on the work done and the accomplishments achieved. It builds trust and stronger relationships. With that, I conclude my presentation and thank the organizing committee for this opportunity. I look forward to the panel discussion after this and the rest of the program ahead. Thank you.
Good job. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Good. Okay. Our third panel member is from a winner of the Baldrige Award in the United States. His name is Darin Atteberry. He's the city manager of a medium-sized city, I believe, in America. Please.
So hello, everyone, and good afternoon. It's a real privilege to be here and actually be in the presence of so many folks that are interested in operational excellence and a culture of innovation within your businesses, your government, your country. And so it's great to be here to celebrate with you and to take a little bit of time to share our story. And I appreciate being also on the platform with other organizations, these other two organizations that have received a similar accolade in their country. It's truly a privilege to be here. It's also a privilege to represent the United States Malcolm Baldrige Award recipients in Abu Dhabi, and again to the Chamber of Commerce for the support, and to Robin, who I don't believe is here right now. I just really appreciate the invitation. Fort Collins is the third city in the United States to receive the Malcolm Baldrige Award process. We take that very seriously. This journey for us has been well over 10 years in the making. We participated in our statewide regional program, became a statewide recipient, and then began applying for the U.S. Baldrige process. So it's been lengthy for us, but it's been an incredible journey. And you've heard the word journey used a lot over the last several days, and it's truly that. If your interest is receiving this trophy or this plaque and just yet another accolade on your city or your business's letterhead. It's a great award to win, but more importantly, I think what I've heard from the speakers who've been talking with you over the last couple days, it's really more about the journey, about continuous improvement, and really that trophy is not the destination. The destination just continues to move as we want to continually improve. So let me just say real quickly up front some of my primary points that I'm going to share. So this is the brief version of what I want to talk about. Number one, that I don't believe that great results just happen with good, deeply committed, hardworking, capable, competent people. I don't believe it just happens organically. We believe that a framework, and in our case, the Malcolm Baldrige framework, or might be in your case ISO or Lean or Six Sigma, whatever process you're using, but we don't believe it just happens. So the framework, the Baldrige framework, was really critical for us. That includes leadership, strategy, voice of the customer, workforce, operations, process, and then ultimately results. So as we submitted, the City of Fort Collins submitted our Baldrige application, it was 40 pages long. 20 of those pages were results, the outcomes that we have seen as a result of the hard work and systems that we've put in place. Obviously, I don't get to speak to that in great detail in a matter of 15 minutes, but I can tell you if you were to go to the Baldrige website and see the 20 pages of results where things are up and to the right. Overall satisfaction from our customers, our residents, overall satisfaction from businesses and our employees, and on and on and on. The second point that I want to share with you is that I really believe that there's three critical systems here. One is be clear about your vision, and we were clear. We wanted to deliver world-class municipal services. Be clear about aligning resources to that vision, and then use systems thinking to reinforce that. And then as the United States went through a pretty significant recession in 2008, and I'll talk more about this later, we started seeing significant decline in our municipal revenues. And as we went through that decline and we started reducing levels of services, our local residents and businesses said, we don't want you to do that. We want to make sure that you're effective and efficient at delivering these municipal services. And so this idea of you give us your fees, taxes, fines, and charges, and we'll deliver a great local government, great services, was no longer just based on trust. We had to do that through good, reliable data and metrics. So those are the Cliff Note versions of what I wanted to say. And also that both culture and strategy do matter. A great culture with a weak strategy, not so good. A great strategy and a weak culture, not so good either. So in Fort Collins, we're very intentional about our culture being world-class and our strategy world-class, and we think that results in greater outcomes. So many of you are aware of Colorado, which is a state within the United States. We're about in the center of the United States, and we are a city of about 170,000 people. So we're a small to average size American city. We have a university in our community called Colorado State University. There's about 35,000 students there getting their college degrees and master's degrees and PhDs. And about 6,000 faculty and staff. My organization, the City of Fort Collins, has about 2,400 employees. We have about a $1.4 billion two-year budget and about a $100 million capital budget every year. It's a community that values quality of life. It's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place to come and get your college education, and it's also a great place to retire. So let me tell you a little bit more about what I want to do here today. I want to talk a little bit about why Baldrige, why performance excellence, why focus on culture and strategy, why not just be content with status quo, or average services. Then I want to talk a little bit about the journey that we went through, and then some about our results. So Fort Collins is a full-service city. In other words, in the United States, that means we provide police, fire, transit, transportation, roads, also major utilities like water, wastewater, stormwater, and also electric. And now we've just started getting into the business of broadband. And so within the next 3 years, this city will be a gigabyte service broadband provider to all of our residents and our businesses within the community. We also have a city council, city manager form of government. If you think about the city council if you think about the city as a corporation, our board of directors is our city council. Our mayor would be the chairman of the board, and my job as city manager is to be the CEO of that city, of that organization. These 7 areas are the way in which we've structured our budgeting system, our internal operating systems around these 7 outcome areas. So many of us, this is an excerpt from a magazine called Fast Company that I read a few years ago, about 10 years ago on an airplane. As leaders, we all have our stories about why operational excellence, why do we want our businesses to exceed, our local governments? Why as leaders are we different than other leaders? Let me just say, 2 things really got me very interested in the Baldrige process. Number 1 was this magazine that I read on an airplane about 10 years ago. This gentleman says his mentor said to him one time, "What's the one thing that you believe that no one else believes?" And for me, instantly on that airplane, what I thought was that local government can be great. Now you have to understand, in the United States, governments, particularly the federal and the state government, aren't always highly regarded by everyone. There's major disagreements and opinions on these sorts of things, but at the local level, where we deliver direct levels of service, I believe, why isn't that the city of Fort Collins can't strive for world-class municipal services? Here's the great thing as well. My coworkers believe that local government can be great. In our community, our residents and our businesses believe that local government can be great. So that's an important, for me, an important vision to not just be average, to go after excellence. Okay, so this slide represents a series of a few things, and Baldrige would say, first of all, we're oftentimes reacting to problems. We see problems, we're reacting, and you can actually deliver great services. You can be a highly effective company if you're in just a reactive mode. Okay, we then started talking about early systematic approaches. So what if we all started, instead of having initiatives everywhere that weren't really aligned, what if we actually started moving in a particular direction where we were more aligned? And then what if we even moved further on that journey and started focusing our people, our capital, our resources, our teams in a particular direction? And then what happens if we were able to integrate all of our services and all of our plans and policies and programs to be laser-like focused on world-class municipal services? And that's exactly what we've done. So let me tell you, earlier I talked about great culture plus a great strategy equals great results. This is really important. This isn't average culture and great strategy, but this is a great culture, a great strategy, and great results. And we've been very intentional about this along in our journey. and because I don't have a lot of time here, I need to skip through this, but this is very important. So our vision is that we want to provide world-class services through operational excellence and a culture of innovation. And so you can see on the left, everything that we do is vision, mission, values driven. I talk a lot about what I call the it, the we, and the I as well. The it is on a daily basis, the people who come to their job every day. Do they get goosebumps about the work? Do they see that their job is contributing to something much bigger, something better? And in our case, they're building community. They're contributing to people's quality of life and where people raise their families and where they do their jobs. The we is, do you genuinely love the people that you work with on a daily basis? And the I is somehow the work that you're doing, is it helping you accomplish something in your personal life? So what we believe is that if the work has purpose and you genuinely care for the people that you work with and the work is helping you accomplish something in your personal lives, we believe it might just be the best place that you've ever worked in your entire career. And the lion's share of our coworkers believe that this is the best place that they've ever worked. So that's a little bit about our culture. Let me talk a little bit about our strategy. And I'll be very quick about this, but as I mentioned, we're very clear about what we want to provide, and that's world-class municipal services. We're also very intentional about what we don't do, what we stop doing. So in local government, we might have been providing a service for over 50, 60, 100 years. But if it adds no value, let's get out of that business, and let's stop doing that. And of course, that's a dialogue with our residents and with our employees. Be very intentional about aligning resources to that vision, people, capital, process, plans, and then ultimately build a system thinking approach where you have dashboards, where you're benchmarking against other world-class organizations, and where you're doing things like quarterly service area review meetings, management operating reports, quarterly performance alignment assessments, and things like that. So I want to tell you about my 20 pages worth of results where this journey has significantly improved our outcomes. I don't have a time to do that today, but what I want to do is highlight here a couple of accolades, a couple of awards that the city of Fort Collins has received along the way over the last couple of years as this Baldrige process, this journey we've been involved in, and it's just been some pretty significant recognitions. So I'm going to take a real quick minute to show you how our leadership system matches with our strategy and our culture. So in the middle of our leadership system is our vision, mission, values. Everything we do is a result of that vision, mission, values. Our strategies, we talk about, you can see up here, and it's hard to read from here, our community and our city council, our strategic planning process. That's the vision clarity process. The alignment of resources is around how we do our budgeting for outcomes process, our department master plans, and then individual goals that all of my coworkers keep and update. And then our systems are around measurement, review, and process. And then you can see this whole process is in a cycle clockwise, and that really utilizes a plan, do, check, act system where we plan it, we do it, we check it, revise it, and then head down that cycle again. And these major items we call key processes are about 15 different systems that are really critical to the operations and long-term success of our organization. So with that, I want to say again, thank you. I look forward to the discussion. And I will tell you, my wife and I have been in Abu Dhabi for about 3 days now, and what a fabulous place. We flew into Dubai and saw a fantastic airport, and it's been just a pleasure to be here and to be your guest, and I want to thank you for that opportunity. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Good presentation. Thank you. The way that we're going to proceed is I'm going to ask our panelists a few questions, and then I'm going to allow the panelists to ask each other some questions, if you like. And if we have time, hopefully we'll be able to take some questions from our great audience. Let me start with Dr. Jarrah, and I'd like all three of the panelists to answer. Of course, our main topic here is culture, building culture in an organization. So what I'd like to ask each of you, if you could just in a short, maybe a couple paragraphs, describe your culture specifically. I know you've said a few things about it. Describe your culture in your organization, and maybe tell us some of the few very important building blocks that you used to create and to sustain the culture. Obviously, you have great organizations from winning the award and from what you've shown us today, but if you could share just with you what you believe is your culture in your organization, and what are the building blocks or steps that you took to create that?
Would you like me to start? Or do you have a order? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. Actually, quality tools, excellence models are available for everybody, for any organization. And anybody can utilize them and use them. But the most important thing for culture, it's in two levels. The first thing is the leadership of the organization. You need a commitment from the leadership towards implementation of such tools and to understand the benefits exactly of these tools. At the same time, another duty for the leadership is to recognize and award talented people and people who are work teams and so on. At the normal level or the second level, two things from the employees themselves in the organization. You need loyalty and self-motivation. Loyalty is very important. If you are loyal to your organization and you are caring about your business, you will be able to innovate and to improve and to enhance your daily business. And based on your loyalty, your ultimate target, if you have, there's a clear vision for the organization and you know where you are going in 2, 3, 10 years, this is based on the loyalty, people will accelerate such achievement and results. At the same time, a shared thing between the two levels, the leadership and the people or the employees, is the team work and team building. You should have this. And based on my colleague from the state, what he mentioned, that we need to be aligned to work as a one team to achieve our goals and results towards the targets that has been put. This is from the culture point of view. And regarding the building blocks for the excellence culture, you need, of course, awareness to people at different levels, even the top management, middle management, and so on. You need to train people, and based on that, training should be based on the needs to the business, not just a training. It's just be a specified training for the people who are working in the field on the excellent culture or the core business. These are good things to start, and later on, rewarding system should be there. For example, in DIWA, we participate in Dubai Government Excellence Program, and we have three main categories. The main category or the main entity, and we have the individual categories, which is the medals for personnel, and we have projects and initiatives. So based on that, we aligned our in-house recognition system on that system. We have, in a quarter basis, at divisional level, an internal award. The winners will be compete at corporate level in a semi-annual period, and there's a recognition from the top management, a ceremony, awards, financial certificate, and so on. And this is really the outcome of these awards and internal awards. We know our people, we know our success projects, we know our success stories of initiatives and so on, and will enable us easily to participate at local or regional or international level regarding excellence awards and so on. So even the internal award, it's a kind of awareness tool to everybody in the organization about excellence criteria, excellence tools, how to personal skills and so on. So this will help in indirect way to build the culture easily in your organization.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Director Heng, could you
yeah.
give us your comments, please, sir?
Yeah, so in terms of culture, I think one of the major underpinnings in the organization is that we believe that employee engagement, employee satisfaction is paramount, or the primary focus for us, because we believe that employee satisfaction will drive customer satisfaction ultimately. So to further back up this way of looking at life, we have 4 principles that we live by. The first is, through the acronym SAIL. First is we need to make sure our staff work in a safe manner. They go home safe, they work safe so that they can have the next day to fulfill their obligations as a staff, as a parent, and so on. So the first emphasis is safety. So that's underpinned by various activities, whether it's visits, random visits, and safety talks, and so on. That's number 1. The second thing that we focus on in terms of culture is accountability. You are accountable to you yourself as an employee, you yourself as a part of the team, and us as an organization to deliver our mission and our vision to serve our customers better. The third thing is part of the SAIL, is institution first. As our teams get more siloed because of maybe in terms of running ourselves more specialized in our daily work, we need to make sure that collaboration remains intact across the various silos, the various departments. So institution first is one of the major things that we focused on. And that's measured by our collaboration in terms of work, and we measure them in appraisals to make sure that we do make sure that happens. The last one is because of things are always in the flux. Learning is very important. And more importantly, unlearning your old things that you have been learning, because as a utility, we have been very stuck in our ways for the longest time. Whether it's the meter, the transmission part, the generation part, as it becomes blurred in this new energy world, a retailer could be a generation, a buyer can be a seller of electricity. It gets very blurred. So for our staff, while we equip them with iPads and all that, it's a symbolic gesture so that they can know that, look, the digital age has arrived. You need to learn, and more importantly, unlearn your old way of doing things so that you can progress in this new digital age.
That's great. I'll just add a couple of things. Early in our journey, we utilized the Gallup Q12, it's called, and so it's things like, do you have the right tools to do your job? Does your supervisor care about you? Does, do you have a best friend at work? So that's a tool, the Gallup Industry Q12, if you're interested in this topic, I think it's a great start. I would say that to add to what's been said, not to repeat, ask people what they need and what they want, your coworkers. Engage your organization. Be present as a leader. People know that you care about them, and that you try and continue to be clear about what the expectations are, as I mentioned about clarity of purpose. And then the other thing I think in my experience is that people really do want to follow an aspirational leader, someone who thinks big, and someone who has, the organization has big plans, and also accepts when we fail. We know that a big part of innovation is failure, and so what happens when you have that first moment of failure? How do you react as a leader? So I think a lot of it too speaks to our self-awareness. Are we self-aware as leaders? But our organizations, as you said, a suboptimal culture, it's going to be very, very difficult to achieve sustained, strong results.
I think, Darin, one of the important things as leaders, we need to be authentic. So it sort of shows through if you are not authentic and you sort of try to push people to do certain things, and you're not, you don't have the clarity of thought, or you don't have the compass that's with you, I think you'll not be able to convince people.
Well, I was saying earlier to someone today that the more I spend time in leadership position, in my position at the city, the more I realize I don't know. So the longer I do the job, the more I realize how much there is to learn. And if we think we have every answer to every question, to everyone's, I just have realized I don't. And relying on our teams is really, really critical.
The next question I'd like to ask, and I encourage dialogue, please, between all of you, is what is the biggest roadblock that you hit as you were trying to establish your culture, and how did you overcome that roadblock? Obviously you did because of what we have here. So anyone want to start?
I think when it comes to new initiatives or anything like that, it's difficult to get people off their old, the pedestal or their old way of doing things. So I think one of the things that I learned when I became the managing director very early on is to over-communicate. Meaning it's never enough, because to us as an individual, I always say that I've already spoken to this guy, message A. I've spoken to this next group, message A again, and to the third time I'm taking group C, message A, the third group, to me, myself, is the third time I'm saying it, but to the guy who's in the third group, it's the first time he's listening from me. So over-communicating is something we need to do as a leader, because otherwise the message gets either lost in translation or lost in transmission, or it's never been even sent to the last recipient. So over-communication is one of the things that we need to do.
Oh. Anyone else like comment?
Exactly. Exactly, communication is an issue, especially when you have a big organization and with different levels and different physical location. You have to have all the people on the same page as well. Resistance is there for any new initiatives, anything, but you have to be patient in order to motivate people to get the buy-in from them for new initiatives. This is can be utilized by awareness and training and get them involved in the teams that you are working in.
I would say three things very quickly as it relates to our Baldrige journey and an awards process. Informing folks that this was not about getting a trophy, that it wasn't about the Baldrige recipient. It was about becoming a Baldrige recipient, although that was a clear target for us. It was the journey of continuous improvement that was. And I think early on, I had a mentor say to me once that, don't talk about Baldrige. Talk about operational excellence. Talk about that journey rather than some trophy. I think another barrier was people, our coworkers would say things like my colleagues would say, we're delivering great results now. Yeah. Why would we need the Baldrige process? And it reminds me of a great quote by an author named Jim Collins, who wrote Good to Great, Great by Choice, and he's a former professor from Stanford. He said, good is the enemy of great. And I think that kind of was a challenge for us. We were doing everything so well that this idea of aspiring to good got in the way of greatness. That's just some random thoughts.
Good. Do you have questions for each other? Any questions?
No. My question's on the fact that because the way we look at awards and so on, because to the layman, to the man down to the line, it is very difficult to convince them that the journey is going to be very long and so on. We need to put clear KPIs, and so the way we approach life is that, look, there's an award that we're going to aim for. It's part of the journey. It will never end. There may be more awards, but this is an award. We need to get it. Yeah. So, otherwise, it's going to be lost in translation. We're going to say, look, it's a journey. It's not the end that counts. The means, the kind of thing sort of get lost to the man on the ground. So I would like to just, in a way, disagree that having a goal such as that is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. My deputy city manager says the same thing. It's like we want to win.
Yes.
We didn't join this journey to lose, to not get it. We want to win. So I would agree with you. I don't mean to understate that at all. And I'm competitive as anyone. And I want to win too. But and it's when you hold that in terms of Baldrige, this crystal, it's a beautiful crystal, right? It's a very proud moment. But the big question for us is, so what now?
Yeah.
When you become a Baldrige recipient, so what now? What and that's the challenge with winning the trophy.
Yes. So win the World Cup. So do you win the Universe Cup or something like that?
And with Baldrige, you can apply 5 years later.
I see.
So we're going to continue. We want to be the first city in the United States to become a two-time Baldrige recipient. But that we have to wait 5 years to do that.
Actually, the winning award mentality is there wherever you go. It's there, but you have to be patient in order to encourage people to have the improvement mentality and to have the awards as a byproduct by your continuous improvement and encouragement. I believe winning the first award will encourage you more and more to get more trophies and more crystal in your
the pressure is
closet.
kind of off at this point.
But you have to be in a steady state and balanced improvement journey to achieve and sustain the levels of the excellence. And this is all about excellence, to maintain and sustain the level you achieve.
Yeah, that's very well. Actually, both your points are really important. Winning is important, and then just as much about the journey as it is the recognition. But I completely agree with both of you. Both are important perspectives.
I mean, you mentioned that it's important to communicate, and because Diva is all over the place, so how much emphasis do you have to man-to-man, or man-to-women, person-to-person communication, or now because it's all over the place, do you use digital, or can digital or technology replace some of these face-to-face meetings?
Actually, we have 13 divisions, 5 of them outside of the headquarters, and as I mentioned on my presentation, we have the Corporate Excellence Department within the headquarters, and we have excellence ambassadors, and they have their own offices from the teams of the ambassadors in each division from 2 to 5 people. And they are aligned technically with the corporate and on daily basis. And sometime, all the time, the corporate teams has been deployed to the divisions in order to disseminate, to assess, aware, and train, and so on, in cooperation with the excellence ambassadors in our divisions. It works well, alhamdulillah, with us so far, and we are looking to enhance it more and more to use digital tools as well. Our physical locations just 30 minutes away from the headquarters in each direction, but it's still to reduce the carbon footprint as sustainability is one of our objectives.
Well, you heard the school bell ring. We're running 15 minutes over, but I want to give you time to have a break. Hopefully the next session will start promptly at 12:30. So I want to help you thank my guest speakers, and also please, if you have questions, I'm sorry that we are limited in time. I'm sure that they would be very happy to talk about these topics with you if you have individual questions, because part of being a winner is to share your successes with others so that everyone can be a winner. So we thank you very much, panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chuck.